More money keeps stockpiling into Bitcoin, and you might be wondering why your altcoin portfolio is still stagnant. Now, this bull market has been a little different so far, but truly, if we look back at the last cycles, you would actually see that alt season is really not even going to begin until a certain catalyst occurs. I'm going to go over some data as to why we haven't really seen a full-blown at-scale alt season to this point, why really only a few attention and no pun intended here, hype tokens are really leading the bull market, and when is this trend going to flip, and what can you do in the meantime to maximize your profits before we actually get into a quote-unquote risk-on environment. Let's go ahead and jump into it with everything you need to know about this bull run. And if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, be sure to drop down and like the video. It helps us get in front of more crypto bulls just like yourself who want to win in this bull market. And of course, subscribe to the channel down below so you do not miss a video. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on the channel. We have some amazing sponsors from Everreach Labs, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, Cradle Games, as well as Blowfin, who is our premier exchange partner here on the channel. And of course, even if you're not a trader, you can actually jump into Blowfin and also do copy trading, and this will also count for your sign-up bonus. And we offer a nice sign-up bonus down below in the description. Centralized exchange, no KYC. You can use this in any jurisdiction. So check out Blowfin down below in the description and start trading today. Let's go ahead and jump into the market, as a lot of interest is coming into Bitcoin and nothing's really changed in that regard. And a lot of people are starting to wonder, is this bull market going to have an alt season? Because everyone, even myself, like there's been times where you think altcoins are going to heat up, but really it's not happening. And there is one major catalyst that is holding this back. And I'm going to go over that in the middle to the end of this video as to when I think alt season is going to play out and how I'm adjusting my strategy, because I will be honest, right now it's a Bitcoin and select few altcoin bull market. This is not the way that some bull markets in the past have played out by technicalities, but I do think we will get there where we are in a big time risk on environment. But I'm kind of changing up my strategy right now. I'm weighing heavier into certain narratives, and then I will jump in to certain narratives whenever the market does go into a more widespread alt season. So let's just jump into it. We're going to head over to the watch list and see what's performing well on the daily and the 7 days. Really no surprise. We see stuff like virtuals at 256. This thing just keeps crushing, as it is virtual season. That is for sure. Kaito up, 140% on the monthly, which is just absolutely insane. If we go to the weekly charts, the big winners here, stuff like Hyperliquid, which is up 50%. This thing is by far the strongest and probably the most reasonable investment thesis that you could have in the market. We'll talk about that later in this video. It's pretty clear as to why Hyperliquid continues to go up and why it can probably hit $100 million FDV this cycle. I would really not be surprised. We'll go over that later in this video as to why, even though the price has done what it's done, if you don't have any exposure to hype, or maybe you haven't even started farming the next wave of the airdrop, there's tons of opportunity left without you feeling like you have to quote unquote top blast, aka buy the local top and hope that it keeps going up. So we'll go over that later in this video, as it is one of the coins that is in the select few that is having an alt season. But like I said, Bitcoin is really what's driving everything at this point. Right now, every day, we see another entity, another government, another institution. They want to grab a significant amount of Bitcoin, as I tweeted here. And this is the true beginning of what I would deem a metaphorical arms race, right? So countries over the course of history go into these races for weaponry, right? Or whatever the case is, because they want to make sure if a war was to occur, they're ready, right? So an arms race in a way. But this is for what is probably going to end up being by far the most valuable digital currency, but universally what could be the world's most valuable currency. And I like what AK said here, is the truth is, after this run, the chance will be forever gone along with the volatility. So after this bull cycle, you might not have Bitcoin as accessible as you do today. Now, you'll always be able to go buy it on an open market, but there are only 20 million Bitcoins or 21 million Bitcoins. And at the end of the day, with all these institutions going after it. And if you don't, see these headlines every single day, we see Trump media about to buy announces a $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. We also see here that Vivek Strive, his company, is raising $750 million to buy or to build a Bitcoin treasury with plans to buy Mt. Gox Bitcoin claims and deploy alpha strategies to outperform Bitcoin. We even see Bank of America saying to buy Bitcoin. We see Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, who has historically kind of been up and down about crypto, saying, go at it to allow Bitcoin trading. And not only this, we finally see a little bit of institutional interest in Ethereum. The joke of the cycle so far, because, Ethereum just can't seem to move no matter what happens to it. We see here the micro strategy of Ethereum has potentially emerged, that SharpLink Gaming announces a $425 million private placement to initiate Ethereum treasury strategy. So a lot's going on the institutional side. So if you're bearish, if you're still a bear in this market right now, I don't know how you can be. I really wouldn't be shocked to see us push 150, maybe even 200K Bitcoin by the end of this year. I know it might sound insane, but this asset class is about to grow quicker. And it's crazy at this price. I think it's going to grow quicker and quicker over the course of time as more big players and institutions race to get as much of this scarce asset as possible. So how does this affect Altseason? How does this actually translate to us making money on our coins like Solana, Avalanche, or any of these coins that really right now aren't doing a lot? Like, a lot of coins are suppressed. If we just go look at the watch list here, there's so many more coins in this 6, 5, 4, 3, and then negative ranges. There's just a lot of coins that, are okay. They're a little profitable over the course of the month. Stuff like, let's look at Gun, which is the top Web3 game right now, just by stats and everything like that. This and MapleStory. It's only up 1% on the month, or on the day, and it's down 20% on the week, or on the monthly. And then we see here Avalanche, which is by far one of the leading L1s in the market right now, is only up 7% on the monthly time frame. We see stuff even like, I'm not a Cardano investor, it's only up 10% on the monthly time frame. But you're seeing things like Hyperliquid, Kaito, Virtuals do crazy numbers. Stuff like Render, one of the top AI protocols, only up 10% on the monthly. So we're going to talk about why this is and when is this going to shift. But first and foremost, I just want to go over a little bit of gaming news and a little bit of just protocol news. As mentioned, Avalanche, they just hit an all-time high in monthly users. A lot of this is attributed to the fact that MapleStory went to mainnet, and of course Off the Grid's mainnet numbers are looking fantastic, and they've really only bridged over about 1% of their total player count and wallet count. So this is very bullish. They also came out with a brand new really a game mode. They've really just focused on Battle Royale to this point. Now they have their deathmatch mode, as they say, 20 players, compact arenas across teardrop, quicker regen, first to get 50 elims wins. And this is a really fun game mode. We also see next week, or really this week now, they tweeted this last week, that On-Chain Heroes, the leading gaming project on Abstract, is coming back for season 2 this week. This has me really hyped. It was one of the most fun on-chain experiences that I've dived in, especially on Abstract, pardon me. So I'm really excited for this to make a return. But of course, in the gaming side of things, with everything good, there's bad. And we saw another game go under, Shatterline, which was built on Avalanche. This was a Web 2 game transitioning to a Web 3 game, and now they're basically shutting down operations, going from a multiplayer arena shooter to a single player game, which basically means they don't have players. So really disappointing. And honestly, as time just continues to lapse, it does make you really wonder, is Web3 gaming ever going to have that moment, right? And we've seen games come out like Off the Grid and MapleStory, and these games, while they have great player counts and all this, we need to see more speculation. And look, at this point in time, we've seen AAA attempts. We've seen all these different attempts at different gaming projects. But the reality of it is we're in crypto. What do crypto people want? We want upside, casinos, and degeneracy, okay? And if you're not gonna give that to us as a Web3 game, you're really gonna lose interest pretty quickly. So look, Web3 games might just be Ponzified. That just might be the thing. But games need to lean into that if they want to find market share. And I don't really see in the short term the gaming markets having a big pump until a game comes out that people really lean into from a speculation perspective. The token does really well, and then we can kind of see the broader gaming market wake up. But now let's jump in to this alt season, which has really been kind of like choosing the popular kids out of the crowd. And we'll talk about why that is. So when you look at the last 30 days, when Bitcoin itself, if we just go find Bitcoin on this 30-day chart, it should be somewhere around these levels. Let's find, I'm just going to scroll by market cap here just to make it easier. Market cap, we see that Bitcoin's up 17% on the 30 days, right? And typically a 17% move on Bitcoin over 30 days, a lot of altcoins do make moves. If we look at the 30-day time period for a lot of alts, really the only things that have mooned or like mooned during that time period are really just meme coins, shit coins, with no pun intended, stuff that's literally absolutely dead and pumping for no reason because they're probably scam pumps from their teams, or the hyped projects or projects with catalysts like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we've seen with big catalyst coming. I know AI Arena's token with a big catalyst coming as well. So there are some conviction plays here, and really our best play in our portfolio personally has been 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, virtual as well as hype. But at the same time, whenever you look at the big winners of the cycle so far, there's really only three. And these winners are lapping everyone else. Number one is obviously Hyperliquid. Number two is Kaito, and this is due to yaps. So everyone on the timeline, it's now this attention game. Now, crypto has completely shifted. Not only is Twitter become post-fest about who can get the most yaps and get most rewards from these different protocols, but Kaito is the protocol that powers this. And if we just look at the month chart, this thing has been absolutely tremendous. And if we look at the recovery that it made from 69 cents, I mean, this thing is definitely a cycle leader. And we see virtuals leading the AI agent narrative, really with a bunch of just random, like what they're doing actually to me has the longevity of it. I just don't understand how it's going to really function, because you're buying all these AI agent tokens and you're forced to hold them, or you get a cooldown period. It is definitely a risk on ball game, but I'm going to show you the numbers of why this has been absolutely ludicrous at this point in time. Over the month, this is up 136%. And on the yearly, if you guys remember, this went up to 450, and now it went all the way back down here to 44 cents and has done a clean 6x since that time period. So right now, this cycle is being dominated, let's just say, by 4 tokens: Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, we have Kaito, and we have Virtual's protocol. So this whole thing with yaps and the attention economy has shifted from meme coins over to the altcoin market. And these 3 altcoins right now have proven to have some of the most high utility use case, as well as their protocol activity is just simply leading the cycle. So we have seen a shift into assets with utility, like the meme coin craze, the trenches, all these toxic launches, this type of thing. They're not really in the picture right now. But what we are seeing, and we thought this would happen, but maybe not in this fashion, that people are betting on utility bets, but they are all new cycle bets, things that really popped up and got popular this cycle, and 2, the 3 really main characters as far as platforms that people are using this cycle. It reminds me of when PancakeSwap blew up or Uniswap blew up last cycle. Like, those things just made sense and they were the popular applications. But a lot of other coins were running alongside those coins at that time. And at this point, that's not really the case. So let's go over, as we see here, a few tweets that I want to just cover and go over the logic behind this. People are saying, alt season's not going to be the same. Alt season's never going to happen. If you're sidelined on these coins, the bull run's almost over, which I think couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of major currencies are trading at more volatile levels than we've ever seen. As Elio said, kind of like shitcoins. This is why the Fed has been so slow to move on rate cuts, as well as maybe going into a more risk-on environment. They know this is the end game. The flood is coming. Will you be on the ark? And 𝗔𝗏𝗧𝗏 says the market is risk off. If we take a look here at this chart, there is $7.24 trillion, which is an all-time high, sitting in money market accounts. And if you're unfamiliar, money market accounts typically pay 4 to 5% yearly. I mean, that's just the most safe bet you could possibly make. Now, look, I'm not going to say you're a schmuck if you're in a money market. I actually have the money that I keep in bank savings. I do actually use a money market, and I have a lot of money into the stock market and obviously in crypto and Bitcoin. But seeing this number, people are not taking risks. And there are dips here traditionally in this chart. We see here, it went from about 5.3 trillion down to 4.7 trillion in 2021. Well, that would make sense. We actually saw a crypto bull run during that time period. We saw money printing during that time period. After 2008, we saw the exact same thing. Money left. That was a little different circumstance, but at the same time, a lot of money left the money markets, and they actually went into a more risk-on capital mode because of the environment that we were in. I do think later this year, we will actually start to see a risk-on environment because we haven't even seen rate cuts. We are not in that place yet. And I think that Trump is moving towards that. And that is whenever we see altcoins really start to rally. So right now, obviously, like I said, we're being absolutely dominated by 3 coins. And here's why. And also, here's why I think 2 of them actually still have a lot of upside to go. So let's just jump into these real quick, and I'm going to go over what I'm doing on each one of these at this point in time, so you can also take action in the short term to make sure you win on these short-term winners, but also make sure that your long-term portfolio comes to fruition by the end of the cycle. Let's jump into it. So Hyperliquid, if you're unfamiliar, is the most popular perps DEX in all of crypto. This has become probably the biggest culture play alongside Abstract that I would say. Like Abstract has built a great culture on the timeline, but Hyperliquid is just by far the most successful protocol other than Pump Fund this cycle easily. And just the other day, yesterday, Hyperliquid reached new all-time highs in open interest of 10.1 billion, 24-hour fees of $5.6 million, and USDC TVL at $3.5 billion. And if you take a look here, they do buybacks on the token. Now, this is what I think is the most sustainable bullish metric. And this is also why I like Elio's project and Becker's project coming up, Black Hole, because they're doing a buyback loop. So all the fees that the platform accrues, they're throwing 10% back to buy Super from the Black Hole DEX. Well, this is what Hyperliquid has been doing. Hyperliquid has bought back over $880 million in hype purely from fees and on-chain. Soon, the assistance fund will pass 1 billion in buybacks, which is probably the largest protocol-only buyback in crypto history. This is crazy. They have bought back $880 million of their own token. That drives so much value to people who stake hype, who hold hype, or just participate in the platform in general. Like, this becomes a cultural movement at that point in time. And this token right now sitting at $38 billion, and it's up 100% over the month. Maybe you're sitting there on the sideline and you're thinking like, well, I'm not going to buy this chart right now. And I understand that. But if I was you, I would just get involved with Hyperliquid. Pix on Chain posted this, the exact setup I'm using to make $1 million from Hyper EVM. He lays out a bunch of steps here to make sure that you're well positioned for the hype airdrop round 2. And look, this team has so much money. They'll probably end up, the first airdrop was basically the biggest airdrop in crypto history. I think the second one could basically be the exact same thing. And there's no reason this platform can't keep going up. Like, I really do think at 38 bill, my target this cycle would be $100. I would not be surprised to see by the end of the cycle, Hyperliquid trading at 100 billion FDV. Now, If you are scared to top blast, you can take a look at this thread here. You can just get involved, bridge your funds onto Hyperliquid, start playing around with it, start playing around with application partners. Even Nexus, our trading is actually backed by Hyperliquid. So you can actually get Hyperliquid exposure just by trading on our platform, Nexus. And on top of that, Hyperliquid, it is just the #1 perps deck. So if I was you, I would go check that out, play around, do some volume. You want to qualify for this airdrop. So that is the way you can get exposure without feel like you're buying a local top, because I know it's scary. Like it is definitely a scary proposition whenever you see this thing at all-time highs, up 100%. But look, the Hyperliquid train is going to keep rolling, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this at $50. As long as, climate stays the same and Bitcoin is keeping its trajectory of its movement, I wouldn't be surprised to see $50 here in just a few weeks. That would not be out of the cards for me at all. Moving on to virtuals. The only other one that I really would be buying or even participating in. Another one where you don't really have to buy a lot. So Gorilla, good friend of mine, posted this. Had you put $100 into every launch on Virtuals protocol, and this is why Virtuals is crushing right now, $3,600 into $85,000. And if you received the max allocation, your $33,000 would be worth $1 million. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat here because the way that the system works, so I think it's kind of Ponzified and it's a little bit segmented. You have to hold all of your tokens to earn points to contribute towards launch. If you take profits, they penalize you. So that's honestly why I think there's a big caveat there. So that's why a lot of these coins have continued to trend upwards, and most of these coins are in profit. And if you take a look at some of the most successful launches, this one went from 590 to 250K, and some of these were backed officially by Virtuals and pushed by Virtuals. But this has definitely been the one. If I was you, I would maybe go buy a few hundred Virtuals, even at the small end, and just start putting in a few $100 into a launch here and there. And then on top of that, contribute your points that you earn on the platform. Don't sell the tokens. It sounds crazy, but you're going to start getting airdrops if you stake your virtual. You're going to start getting benefits from these different tokens. You're going to see appreciation. And then when you're ready to take profits, honestly, take profits and exit the ecosystem. But I do think that virtuals, there's a lot of opportunity still at this point in time to get into this ecosystem and make money. But this is maybe not the token. I say that. It's still 50% off of all-time highs. This wouldn't be at the top of my buy list right now, but at the same time, when you look at this versus the other two charts where we see 𝗏𝗏𝗏 near all-time highs and we see Hyperliquid at all-time highs, Virtuals is still 50% away from all-time highs, or 100% away from all-time highs. So there is more opportunity here in buying the token. So maybe the token could be a decent play if you were to take this route. But to me, I think the route to make money on virtuals is clearly just getting involved, contribute points and some virtuals into each launch, and literally just send it. Just see what happens, because all of these launches are going up by nature because there's no sell pressure, because people are trying to farm this ecosystem to the maximum potential. And then look, what am I doing with my existing altcoin bags? I'm holding 90% of the things that I was before. My portfolio update a few weeks ago is still valid. There's really no change in that whatsoever. There are things like Hype and virtuals that I am participating in every single day. I have grabbed a bag of Hyperliquid as well, but at the same time, if I was you, I wouldn't go all in on these ecosystems. But if you're not participating in the hot platforms at this point in time, that's why you're going to be behind when real altcoin season happens. People are going to be way ahead, and then they're going to have the liquidity to take advantage of the real full-blown alt season, and you're going to want to be in that position. So take part in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, do the SocialFi, go out there, start tweeting, yap on the timeline about these projects, get involved with the virtuals, get involved on Hyperliquid, just do some volume, do some staking. You're going to qualify for that upcoming airdrop, and there's so many more opportunities. We see stuff like on-chain heroes coming back to Abstract. This is going to earn you Abstract XP, and that is the most valuable thing. I think that Abstract token is going to be evaluated very nicely when this goes live. I would absolutely be jumping back into on-chain heroes. My friend Jonah Blake is launching a game today, actually, and I think this is going to be be pretty cool. You actually earn a plethora of different meme coins in this ecosystem. It's like an auto battler type of game. You buy a ticket, you run through, you want to survive. I think it's a 2-minute game loop. And from there, you're able to earn certain meme coins that are randomly selected. It's like a random number generating system. You fight and win win rewards. A little bit of a tongue twister there. And you try to just get to the end. If you get a victory, you get a nice little war chest of tokens. So this is going to be a nice risk on, kind of Ponzified a little bit, but I think it could be sustainable. I'm going to be checking this out today as well. We see Arbitrum once again going with 𝗘𝗫𝗅. There's $150,000 here up for grabs from Arbitrum for people participating in 𝗘𝗫𝗅. This is why those 3 protocols are leading the cycle. And on top of that, tomorrow we see 𝗖𝗛 going live. I want to preface this. I think 𝗖𝗛 apps, if you get involved with them early, could be as lucrative as Abstract. So I would absolutely, if I was you guys, jump in, participate in 𝗖𝗛. And I'm going to try to give you guys a little bit of an overview of things I'm doing to earn and make money on the 𝗖𝗛 chain whenever this goes live tomorrow, because all of their decentralized apps will be really popping at that point in time, and I will be participating in those as well. But like I said about my portfolio, things you can do right now. If you're really ballsy, I don't think Hyperliquid's done, but I would just simply get involved with Hyperliquid so that way you qualify for the airdrop. But to me, this is a $100 token long term, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think Virtuals has more upside considering where all-time highs is. But at the same time, when I look at my normal portfolio, I am still holding stuff like Avalanche, Super, Render, Tau. They might be slow moving at this point in time, but these are category leaders. And when these categories do pop off, I'm more than confident that our conviction plays will play out, but not until we see this risk on environment. And like we see from Chamath and like we see from Elio, myself and many others, it's a majors market, and it's really a select few. It's like I said, we're picking from the popular tables. So it might have sounded like a rant right now, but I think people need to hear this. If you're not seeing the gains in your altcoin portfolio right now, you don't have to chase the 3 that are really cooking, like 𝗘𝗫𝗅, Hyper, and Virtuals. But what you can do is just participate. And there's a lot of money to be made in just participating in those ecosystems. There's also big opportunities in Abstract and 𝗖𝗛. I think those 5 things are really just dominating this cycle so far. Once we go into a risk-on environment, once we see more stables off the sideline, once we see people go from traditional investments into crypto again, I mean, we're sitting at all-time highs, and really it feels like nobody in the outside world even knows that. So to me, I think it's a great opportunity to still stack your conviction alts, but also participate in the ones that are absolutely cooking, because they all provide future opportunity for gain with the agents on Virtuals, with 𝗘𝗫𝗅's reward system for SocialFi, as well as Hyperliquid's next airdrop, which I think will be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. That is my prediction. So I know this was a bit longer. It was a little bit of a rant, but I wanted to give you guys just an overview of why these things aren't pumping, our conviction bags that we've held for a long time, why a select few things are, and when those broader plays will come into the fold and we actually see an alt season. So guys, if you agree, disagree with my logic, let me know down below in the description. I would love to hear your thoughts. Which of the 3 ecosystems that are the most popular are you participating in the most? Is it 𝗘𝗫𝗅? Is it Virtuals? Is it Hyperliquid? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And as mentioned, our trading is about to go live on Nexus, and it is actually powered by Hyperliquid. So check out Nexus down below in the description, like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and I want to reiterate, alt season hasn't even started. So do not worry. The truth about this bull run is anyone who says we're already in alt season is lying to you. Alt season has not happened, and it won't happen until we get into a risk on environment. So as always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.